Hello, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, and welcome to my second ever Strixhaven Draft. The first one went 4-3, I think. So not a perfect record, but good enough. We happen to have opened a Torrent Sculptor, which I think is quite good in any blue deck. If you can get something in the graveyard. The other option is to look at the Stonebound Familiar as one of the potential payoffs for Lore Hold, or to take a land. Closing Statement I also think is quite good. Adventurous Impulse I'm not terribly interested in. So I think I like the flexibility of what's going on here, and we can look at maybe getting into Prismari. If that doesn't work, that's okay. The joke is you're supposed to discard one of your incredibly expensive spells somehow, and then make a giant flyer. But I'm going to give the rare a try. But we're not going to like be married to this. So I do think Dina is quite good. I also think iWitch has some potential. I would certainly play a Shock. Environmental Sciences is a nice lesson to have. I think we probably go with Dina here and try to leave ourselves as open as possible to what comes around. My initial research into the draft format has led me to believe that you should be picking the rares and uncommons and then trying to see what's open from there, rather than like opening a good rare and trying to force it. Because the uncommons and rares are just too powerful in comparison. So I think Dina would be doing a lot in Witherbloom. So we're not going to play these two cards together, but we could potentially play them. And here's where we have to make a little bit of a decision, right? I don't think Rip Apart is fundamentally better than Lightning Bolt. It's a little better. You're gaining some life. You can destroy artifacts and enchantments. There's just not many you would want to. The ones that you want to destroy, it's quite good to have the option. So we've really got to make a little bit of a decision about whether we want Mage Duel, which is a pretty good removal spell for the Witherbloom pair, or if we want to take the Spectacle Mage, which is kind of the enabler for the Torrent Sculptor. We could also have some fun and take a Grape Shot, but I'm looking to draft well rather than kind of go for the memes. I think I want the Mage Duel, but I might regret it. I feel like if this was the uncommon payoff, I'd probably take it, but it isn't. Like, Reflective Golem's interesting too, but yeah, I think you could get Grape Shot to work. All right, so we've got a Tome Shredder, we've got a Heated Debate, got a Fractal Summoning. Okay, never mind. All of a sudden, we're starting to be quite interested in this again, which does make me wish I had done that, but you're being passed a ton of red in this pack, yes. But also in this pack, there's really only 2 red cards I want to play. But Heated Debate is not something I'm going to ignore. Hey, there's our Pacifism. So this is a little awkward, right? Because we've got Flunk, which is a solid card, and it would go with the Dina and the Mage Duel. It's not really going to pair well with Heated Debate. We could consider splashing that. If we were looking to try out Prismari a little further, I think the Pledge Mage would be reasonable. How's 3-color looking? Pretty good, but you would want to, generally speaking, splash in wedges rather than shards. Which means I probably wouldn't be splashing a Heated Debate in Witherbloom. But I'm just going to continue to take decent removal spells and see what opens up. So this Honor Troll and the Pest Summoning and the Witherbloom Pledge Mage and the Witherbloom Land lead me to believe that we should be doing Witherbloom things. I'm actually torn between whether I want the Honor Troll or the Pest Summoning. Because I don't have a way to get the life gain started. I certainly don't want strategic planning. And the lands are interesting too. I'm going to give Honor Troll a try. I think later in the format I'll know exactly what I'm supposed to take there, but I just don't yet. So here's a Blood Researcher. We now have tons of payoffs for gaining life, just no way to gain life. So I think I'm pretty happy with this. Like, there's 2 mana 2/2s with life gain that we should be able to find pretty easily. So we've got solid payoffs for life gain. We've got a way to enable life gain through pest tokens. And we've got 2 solid removal spells in Witherbloom. I think we can make this work. So now I'm going to start looking for the lands as we go a little later, particularly the ones that might help me splash or that would just go in Witherbloom. Somebody had asked, when do you start taking the lands? I think once it's gotten to the point that there's not uncommons that you would want, you can start thinking about them. But I do believe that Blood Research is a decent payoff for life gain. This is a deck that very much wants to open the Arch. Okay, that seems like a pretty easy pass summoning. And that I'm very happy to have that. I don't have a learn card yet. But I suspect we can find one. Because what I want is... search for specimens. The campus guide would be reasonable too, and I don't even think Rise of Exodus would be insane here, but I think I've got 2 good removal spells. Professor gives us a little bit more sacrifice fodder. This would give us another lesson, which I don't hate. And I've given it some grief, but I would play Adventurous Impulse in some of these decks, but I think we're just going to have to bear with this pack. And take the Borderland Minotaur with upside. There's a Witherbloom Pledge Mage. This is not exactly how I want to be gaining life, because it's not going to trigger reliably or often. But it is a way to do it. So I think it makes it in the deck, even though we're not incredibly happy about it. We're really just looking for Secure the Specimens from here. As many of those as we can get would be nice. I think it's better than barely playable. I mean, it's a Druid in bear form. It's incredibly tanky. You just face tank everything. I think you would have to make that decision, but I think generally speaking, if you have enough learn cards, you would always want to have access to them in your sideboard. It just makes the learn cards better. So I'm planning for this pest summoning to be over here. But we were pretty happy in our first draft to have 3 learn cards and 4 lessons. One of them was Introduction to Annihilation, which I didn't think we'd ever want, but literally won us a couple games. Polarizing? Explain how. All right, we could run this. There's another way to gain some life. It's not a lot of it. It's not exciting, but it can do the thing. So we've got potentially an Arrogant Poet, which gives us a little bit of attacking at the cost of life, which is kind of playing at cross purposes with the Honor Troll, but we should gain enough life to be able to attack with it. So I think I might play that. I really want repeatable life gain, not a 3/2 that just comes in and gains life once. First draft was 4 and 3. Oh, the bear puns are what's polarizing people. Not bad. I don't think we're going to want any of this, but I suppose I could play that. If all my creatures are bad, it's a combat trick. Hey, there we go. Noise. Getting closer and closer to a splash. And even if we don't splash, we'll just have good mana in a scry land. I like that. That's not a bad first pack. I'd feel a lot better if it had that stupid arch. Leyline Invocation? We could even play that. Like, I'm fine with the 6 mana, 6/6 vanilla. We've got Quandrix Command. Bounce a thing, put counters on things. That's fine. We've got another Honor Troll, which is interesting. I just don't know where I'm going to get the life from. We've got a Field Trip, which I really think of this as mostly a Quandrix card. I may have to use something like Essence Infusion and or Crocs to work on this. I think I want to give this a go. I need to know if this card is actually worth going in for. Because it's making my life gain better, but not gaining life. Show me the way. If this is good, this deck will be good. Double Quantrix Command is interesting. Lifelink and Menace. Kind of dig that. There's a summoning that we'd be happy to have access to. We don't have any learn cards here, which is kind of what I'm looking for. Where's my pest summoning? Because we could still consider like playing this on the splash. I don't think it'd be bad. What am I missing? I'm missing a fractal summoning? Okay, we'll consider splashing this. Cultivate would let us do that at the cost of another Blood Researcher and a Leech Fanatic. We need the Archway, dude. That's what we do. If I pass one, scream at me, because it's bad and I should do it. Good morning, Techno Shaman. I think we take the Cultivate to enable the splash. Because at this point, we're probably just playing the Quantrix command. And if I'm ramping, I may just want the Leyline Invocation anyway. I want my little pest summon, duders. What's up, y'alls? I also want that Blood Researcher. Was there? If there was, then I just didn't recognize the art and missed it. That can happen with a new set, where I'm just kind of drawn to a particular card and miss the important one. All right. So we really need to be finding... We've got okay removal. I don't think this is what we want, right? It is sort of a way to gain life, but I don't like it. Umbral Juke seems pretty good. Mage Hunter seems pretty good. I'm wondering if somebody else got into this near us and we need to be a pack 3 deck. What's not bad if we're going to splash blue? I think I want the Juke. That gives me access to an instant speed flyer or a sack effect. I'm probably going to have to end up playing something like this, even though I don't particularly want to. It also gives us a spell to potentially trigger a little bit of life gain here, which is something. I don't want to be depending on these Witherbloom Pledge Mages for this. But it looks like I'm going to have to. Pledge Mage could sort of do it. I'd need to trigger it. I could also take Environmental Sciences to make the splash a little better. This is an okay combat trick. It's an okay combat trick that would trigger the Blood Researcher, but like that's really my only payoff right now for going into this. I need to find more Blood Researchers. I think I'm okay with where our creature count is, and I think I'm okay with this as my removal suite right now. I'm going to take this combat trick and try that out too. Another Dina means we're just basically dying for search for specimens. At this moment, I can either, like, I need to be able to see my curve to make it work. It really sucks that MTG Bot isn't updated, but if I'm going to do the draft and try to, like, pass the knowledge along, I'm not able to change the view right now. I can try to hover over the card a little bit longer. That doesn't seem like a big ask. So Field Trip isn't something I think we'd be normally very excited about, but if I'm going to have one pest summoning in the sideboard, I think I may as well take it. It's just ramp. It doesn't fix. But if this is my only learn card and I've got a pest summoning over here, I may just decide I want to play this and the Leyline Invocation and go. Okay, so I think there's a strong possibility I'm going to need to use Essence Infusion, which I don't really want to. I could also just take this and be like, we're going to try to attack with Lifelinkers. Let's give this one more hope. Fractal Summoning would be quite nice and give me an excuse to be playing the Leyline Invocation and the Field Trip. I think we may be doing that. I hope I didn't pass one of those walls. If I did, it's because I like look for art to recognize the cards. If I passed one, it was a colossal mistake. I don't really want the leeches. I want two of those walls, but I'm probably not going to get one. That said, hallelujah. This does something. We are very happy to have this Leech Fanatic. I'd also like another Blood Researcher. There was one that we might wheel. Does not look like we're going to. But we could just be playing giant vanilla 6/6s. Like, Pledge Mage into that could win you some games. This guy's interesting. I don't think we'd be playing it unless we get a lot of Bayou Groffs, but we could. I don't think we want a big play either, so sure. All right. Good old-fashioned Lightning Bolt. We've got Flunk, which is another solid removal spell. It would be our second copy. I think we'd be happy with that. I'm trying to decide if we're passing up anything for it. And it doesn't look like we are. This looks like a relatively easy Flunk. I think I would take Search for Specimens if it was in this pack. I anticipated being able to find that a little bit easier for this deck. So here we've got Tend the Pests, which is a way to make some pests. It's not my favorite way to do it, but we could. We've got another Mage Duel, which I think we'd be pretty happy with. We've got some 5/5s to fight, and fighting with Lifelinkers could trigger some of this. So I think the Mage Duel is probably my pick here. We could also look at a Letter of Acceptance, potentially. Sadly, there's Quintorius, who I said was one of the, I think one of the better cards for Lorehold. And this is just not something we can really do. It's neat as a lesson, but... yeah, I think I'm just going to take the Mage Duel. Witherbloom Apprentice starts to do something for us. I actually think we would play a Cram Session in this deck currently. But now every spell we're casting is triggering life gain. So this is good news. We're going to grab our Apprentice, and our 2-drops are at least sorted. Infuse with Vitality is not a bad combat trick. I'm also sort of interested in the duel. There's some argument that we should just take Rise of Exodus and take it. I don't think we want the Spectre. How many creatures are we running? 12. I probably can't take another combat trick. I think I need this. I've got enough learn cards in or lesson cards in the sideboard that I think we're going to be actively interested in getting to that. And I think I can afford, because I think I'm going to be bringing in Field Trip. Yeah, but I think I can find the duel later, right? Because this is functionally the same card for limited, so I think we grab it here. But I think we're now looking at playing the Field Trip. Unless things get in, like, significantly better, we're looking to play the Field Trip and probably one Leyline Invocation and call it a deck. I typically don't like Containment Breach. Yeah, I think I'd just rather have access to Introduction to Annihilation. Turning tonight is at Strixhaven. It is at 6 p.m. Eastern. There's another pest summoning versus a cram session. So what are our learn cards so far? Really just Field Trip and Rise of Exodus. I think I still want the pest summonings. I may end up main decking one of them though, which is going to feel weird. Going to feel really weird. None of this is particularly what we need. Yeah, we're not sideboarding, so our best shot is to take Introduction to Prophecy. If that cram session wheels, I think we play it. Just going to take this for uncommon purposes. I don't think we're wheeling cram session. Which is a little scurry. I could conceivably play a Eureka Moment. I don't know that I want to, but I could. This is, that was pick 10. We're going to pick 11. So it looks like it didn't wheel, but the Field Trip did, which means now I can play the Field Trip and have access to the pest summoning. So I think I know where we're going here. And it has good mana. I like that. Or people just have different evaluations of the cards, which is fine. Like early in a format, I know what I think the best commons are for each of the color pairs, but a lot of people won't agree with me. By the end of the format, a lot of people won't agree with me, frankly. But I'm not unhappy with how this ended up. So we need to look at this as we essentially have 13, 14, 15 creatures. The Field Trip can fetch the lessons. I don't know that I need this combat trick, even though it is triggering life gain. I think I can let that one go. Because I think we can still use the Quandrix command as kind of a combat trick slash value moment. I sort of like the Eureka moment, but we're not casting it on curve. So my question is, can we... Yeah, Field Trip is a Forest Learn. So it's also a Magecraft trigger here, here, and here. So I want to make sure that we've got stuff to do with the mana, which makes me want to keep the Invocation. I don't think I would be, because then I still get the flexibility of which lesson I want to get. Because we've already played one game where we definitely wanted to get Introduction to Annihilation. Right? So it is a fair question to ask, how interested in this is this deck in ramping? And I think considering one of the things I can ramp to this and draw a ramp target in Fractal Summoning, and I'm probably main decking this Leyline Invocation. So I think this is doing enough, and I think I can learn on the Field Trips enough that I don't need to play the Eureka moment. But I'm not 100% sure. And like if we get to Rise of Exodus, I can cast that and get the Fractal Summoning. The answer may just be that the Professor of Zoomancy isn't that exciting. But it's pretty exciting. I think I'm going to cut the Eureka moment and just splash for the Quandrix command. Because I wasn't that invested in playing that card. It just happened to come around late. We would need one island. And then this would give us 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And leave us room for 7, 8, 9. That seems like good mana, too. You ever cut Eliminate if you have it? I could see an argument in different cases to cut various cards. I don't know enough about the format yet, right? Like, this is my second draft. But I would imagine that Eliminate is probably going to stick in most decks that you're playing. All right, let's see if we did a thing. Because maybe we did. I know you all have a lot of questions. I've put my initial thoughts in the articles on Face to Face, and all of those will be going up today. I am aware that Field Trip only gets for us. Cultivate can get the island. Streamer, by the way. Alright. It's got a plan. Marty, thank you for the bits. Y'all spam some cats for Marty.
Let's do the thing.
Alright, I guess we just go into the Karok and see what we can do on an attack / mage duel shenanigans next turn. So we could Field Trip Mage Duel. I don't know that I necessarily want to Mage Duel. But if I cast a Witherbloom Apprentice and I'm willing to use Flunk as a combat trick, we'd gain 3, 4, 5. We'd gain 6, 7, 8 life. Which would make this an actual threat. That means I could conceivably swing team here. I'm just nervous about what they've got. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's fine. This is not currently much of a removal spell, but it could be. I don't really want to kill the Biomathematician. They're just using Divination with this. But there's a possibility I want to kill that Drake. I think I want to kill that Drake, because I can use a fight spell for just about anything else. Hey YT, what's up, my man? New article up. Hex yeah. Boss is here, look busy. I'd really like to be able to Field Trip and Mage Duel in the same turn, but I can't right now. I think we're going to need the Field Trip, though. So what do we want here? We can get Pest Summoning. We can get Card Draw. I think we just take the Pest Summoning and be pretty happy about it. Because I can Pest Summoning and Mage Duel next turn if I need to. I think we're going to need the Rise to get rid of this token.
I could do with a quick sparring match before...
Ouch. So we are going to need to interact with this. This is our second draft. The flyer is interesting to me too. So what happens if I juke, gain 2, I get a 4/5. So I think I do want the flyer, and I'd still have enough mana left over to Mage Duel. Well, 4/4. If I were to duel, I could duel here onto there and then have an attack, which probably just gets rid of the token, but that's going to be useful because next turn, assuming I draw a mana, we can do some shenanigans. This seems really weird. Does this do the same thing? I think it does. It probably still just makes them chump block, though. The rest of the articles will be going up today. As I understand it, you can ask KYT. For additional informations. This is the second Planeswalker I've bumped into in 2 drafts. Let me tell you, that is not my favorite thing so far. Okay, so we've got Rise. I guess that means we Rise this and go get Introduction to Annihilation to just kill this thing. I don't quite know how I'm dealing with the Fractal other than with the bigger Fractal. I'm pretty sure Annihilation is target permanent, which means we can get this before it ults. Which I need to do. And I may as well poke it for a little bit here too while we're at it.
What an interesting move.
They probably just -3 it and draw cards here. But if they're doing that, then I can just kill it with this and save the Annihilation for something else. Nope, they're going to let me kill it and then try to kill me with this, which is cool.
This is why I didn't want to fight.
Don't think they know about second breakfast. I think that was Frog and Toad, Dave. I don't think I'm ready to trade off the Honor Troll for this just yet. I realize he's shrinky-dinking, but we can grow him right back up. I need another land to really get things going. This is quite an interesting combo. Like, they may not even want to attack now. I hope not. Okay, hold. Yeah, the Apprentice is pretty dang good. It's worth noting this can get particularly large. They can make it unblockable and then pump it. But, like, kind of is what it is. So this is 6 basically unblockable. I should just kill them with the Leyline Invocation unless they'd like to chump here. And I don't think they can kill me next turn, especially through a 3/3 lifelinker. They could double block this with both of those creatures. That's something. I guess they could do that too, sure. Does that mean we're not attacking here? I don't think so. I feel like I'm just going to take the hit. How much damage do they actually have? That's probably what we should consider, because they can make this unblockable and then pump it once. So they would conceivably be swinging for, what's that? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 is the most they could possibly do. I feel like they know something I don't know, and it makes me scary. It makes me scared, but if I need to chomp next turn, we can chomp next turn. They got some big-oo fractals. Alright, I feel like I'm taking that one. Is this ever going to get better than gain, what, 9, 10, 11, 12 life? I don't think so, frankly. Well, it could with a double block. Because we're starting to look at having to chomp, which I don't particularly care for. Ugh. Yeah, they got real big real quick. I think I'm supposed to take 16 here. Which is a hell of a hit. And then consider some blocks, potentially even chomp blocks here. I need to remember we don't have a scry. I probably want to scry upkeep though. Yeah, access tunnel I think is quite good. Oh, that is brutal. Who would have imagined a flying Frostlynx would be so good? But clearly can't take all of this. But I think this is close to game over, man. That's just insane. Too many fractals. But again, Planeswalkers are hard to beat. I think that the Planeswalker generated enough advantage to put us behind, which makes me sad. This leaves me taking 16. I mean, this is putting the game basically out of reach. I'm not quite sure what I could draw that would get them here. There's too many blockers to get out of the way. I guess Prismari Command? It's certainly not you. Professor of Zoology. Does give me a few chomps. I don't think I really want to be getting chomps. Well, it's frustrating to have bumped into 2 Planeswalkers in my first 2 drafts. The first draft, which I didn't have recorded for YouTube, my opponent played Liliana, then used a learn card to get the return a Planeswalker card from your graveyard to your hand after I killed her. It's like, ugh. But in my article that will be going up on Face-to-Face Games here shortly, I talked about how good Frost Trickster would be specifically in Quandrix. And it looks like it is actually just that good. I don't know why they're not going more aggressive, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm supposed to chump this. I think I might need to. Because this makes this at least a 9-9. I'll have the 10-10. So their finishing move is going to be in the air versus this thing getting through. No thanks. So I've got blocks for the ground forces this turn. I mean, we're obviously playing the Pledge Mage. I don't think I have any attacks, though. The 1/1 Death Toucher is just holding me back. They don't either. I'm not quite dead, but you can see it from here. That Honor Troll has done a lot of work at keeping us in this game. I think there's 3 of them up now, and the rest will be coming out today, Richard. That is currently my plan. It is not a good plan. Field Trip goes and gets me, what do I have left? I think I have a Pest Summoning left. I know I have a Draw 2 and Scry. So it's 2 more spells. How do you view your sideboard now? I can get Fractal Summoning and make another big Fractal, which is fine. I can make Pest Summoning, which is cute. I can also just scry 2 and draw a card and look to find 6 more of these. That is my combat pet. I feel like Fractal Summoning is probably the best here, as it gives me another arbitrarily large creature. Meaning next turn I could potentially attack with the 10/10 and trade these off. Picking your deck gives you this... Oh, interesting. That's pretty nice. That's a really nice update. So I should be able to attack with both of these, and they're both a must block. The problem is I ended up trading the Blood Researcher for one of their Fractal tokens, which I don't think is ideal. But if I can trade the 2 Fractals, it will at least put me in a position to begin attacking with the Pledge Mage, which can kind of start to do something. So we would do this for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's almost not big enough. Like, I know I want to attack with this one. I'm just not sure about the other one. Well, they can't take it. What could they do that would really punish me? They could chomp. They could double block this one and just chump that one. That's actually not great for me. Because they're able to get in, what, 6 a turn? I'm going to have to clear through this crap. I still want to draw the Prismari command. If I can draw the Prismari command, I might just be able to win. Because I could bounce a Fractal and put some counters on something and swing Tame. That means I actually do want them to attack next turn and take another Scry for Prismari command. All of my other Scrys got screwed up as soon as I played the Field Trip. Oh yeah, I've got a stop step. We're going to upkeep Scry. Because 6ing or 7ing me a turn is still kind of their best bet. Don't need that. Mage Duel looks like it could be useful here. So we would want to get a fractal out of the way for this, right? The mills first? I don't think it'll come to that. I think I can kill them before they would be able to mill me to death. Eating the 4-power unblockable is nice. It could be. I think that might be the call. The problem is, like, eventually, well, they can attack with these. I think I do like eating the 4-power unblockable. I wish I had a lifelink creature to do it with, but I don't. Yeah, they do have the fear. The fear is good. We would like them to have the fear. I still don't have any attacks, though, but... Well, I'll need to draw 4 more spells, right? I don't know how many more spells we have to draw. It doesn't really do anything currently. I'm not sure that we have 4 more spells. But I'm gonna check. Witherbloom Pledge Mage. That's not a spell. That's not a spell. That doesn't do anything. That's kind of what we've been looking for the whole game. So we need to determine if we have a win with it. So I can bounce something. I can shuffle 3 cards from my graveyard. God, that may actually be the play, is just shuffle 3 spells in. How weird is that? I think that's actually the play. That seems incredibly weird to me, but I think that's the call. So something to return to their hand, I guess we just bounce a 9/9, and I'll be the target. We're going to shuffle back in Field Trip, Rise of Exodus, and Mage Duel. I'm not convinced they can kill me fast enough. Well, if they kill the Witherbloom Apprentice, this all kind of stops, right? I like this better than Kaldheim so far. I also haven't played it with or against a Nuts Silverquill deck, so we're going to have to determine what that's actually like. Like, is that deck good? Is it as terrifying as I think it's going to be? They didn't even bother attacking there. Yeah, I'm not far from being able to turn them sideways. We are getting close to having a lethal attack. I'll play the land out next turn. It doesn't get me an additional scry this turn. I think there's some value in bluffing here. The Sculptor? Okay. Sure. That's not what was killing you. Dina. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. I mean, that does progress our board. I think we take that. It just doesn't gain me life this turn. We have the rummage, but we wouldn't use it. We're going to be scrying twice here, because we just need to find a spell now and they're dead. So they need to kill me this turn. I think we got it. I need to find a spell, but I got a lot of ways to find a spell. Why did we play that land and not loot? How would I loot? Why did they play that land and not loot? I don't know. Maybe they forgot they could. I guess they flunked. They had 6 cards left, so that might have been part of it too. That was an intense match. YouTube, I hope you're digging Strixhaven so far, because I think we're going to be playing a lot of it. All right, let's do our Stream Raiders battle. That is the second Planeswalker we have faced so far. I would like to face less of them and have more of them, if I get to pick. Yeah, this is going to be one of them long videos, I reckon. We've already gone as long as most of the Kaldheim videos went. Game 1, dude. Game 1. It could, but again, we haven't seen a good Silverquill deck yet. Mosif with the kills, John Deere with the assists, rewards for Orcish Wizard and Blablore. Oop. So it is possible that games can end a lot quicker and people haven't figured out how to do the aggro decks yet. Right? Because I think there's still a lot of people that are thinking Lorehold is supposed to be an aggro deck. Or don't really understand how to build aggressive Prismari. If they'd read my articles that are up on face-to-face games, they would know things like that. This is missing black, but I think a reasonable keep. It's got literally all of the pieces we would want. We could draw a black source, we could draw Cultivate. Field Trip wouldn't be super helpful, but it would be okay. That's awkward. And yet here we are. I think I want this in play first. I'm not afraid. I played it so I could block with it. I have regrets about playing it so I could block with it. This is not quite enough. I'd need a board state for that to do anything. So I think we just want to hit all of our drops. I could look to Witherbloom Apprentice and Flunk if I had more black mana. This is uncomfortable, and our greedy splash is getting us a little bit here. Dina and Apprentice won us that last game. It may not win us this one. So the games can go grindy and last 30 minutes, but they can also be over if you miss a couple land drops. The power level of the cards is still on scale with things like Kaldheim. Because we're still looking at taking at least 5 here. I'm not thrilled about that. Yeah, I believe we could be in a little bit of trouble here. So if I put 2 counters on this, it would be a 5/5, and then +1/+2 would make it a 6/7, which is not enough to deal with that. But I suppose I could bounce. This is a sorcery. I could bounce the Woe Eater, put 2 counters on this, fight the Pledge Mage, and then sort of be doing something? It's probably what I got. Now, I still don't know exactly how I'm dealing with the Woe Eater, but it might be just blocking it with this and something little. If I use the command on their upkeep, I can't get the fight spell off. They just drew Flunk. No, they didn't draw Flunk. What did they draw? Because this attack doesn't make any sense. Like, at all. Infuse? Maybe. I think I can afford to take the 2. Like, I can make this block next turn with Flunk up. Agnabbit? Yeah, I may be looking at blocking with Flonk, but Overcool can be aggro. It is the aggro deck of the format. I could also just play a Professor and chump that and be pretty happy. Like, they're at least going to have to sacrifice something. Like, this is me trading a 1/1 for a 2/2 potentially. I'm okay with that. Whew, okay. It handled itself. I guess I don't need 2 Dinas. Lorehold can be aggressive, so can Prismari. I think there are aggressive versions of both decks. More black mana is a blessing. I really want to hold up Flunk this turn, but I don't think I can get away with it. That means I may have to just take a hit from this thing, or I could trade off the Professor and be relatively happy. Yeah, I think it's your time to eat a combat trick, Professor. There's no combat trick. What are they doing? Like, literally, what are they doing? I don't understand. They could be doing all sorts of things, fair. I'm trying to decide if I want to mage duel that, and I think the answer is probably yes. I'm nervous with all that mana up, though, so I don't think I'm actually going to do it here. I suppose I could mage duel it on this. Okay, sure. So I can still mage duel it with my pest if I want to. And I think now we probably do. So they did have the infuse earlier. And now we just lose to a bookworm. Neat. Not with a sorcery. We could not have, no. We're gonna need Rise of Exodus. Which, good news, we have it in the deck, or potentially Field Trip into Intro to Annihilation. We actually have answers to this. Whenever you gain life, you can put counters on something. It's pretty good, too. It's counters on everything? Good grief! So these decks can be grindy, but I don't know that they're always gonna be. Because that's quite a hit. Their Bloom Pledge Mage is not exactly blowing my mind here. Ridge Scale Tusker every turn and trample on all your creatures. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good. I wonder if a set like this has to have really good rares. Well, it's a symptom of flat common power level. I can take one more hit, and then I may have to start blocking the darn thing. I don't want to block the darn thing. Because I still need Annihilation for that, and then another removal spell for Lisette. And this is just when you gain life, so like not everything's going to gain them life, but we're on the not so great end of this. Like, I at least buy myself a few turns. Or not. That's what I wanted to draw. I was going to draw that and it was going to be good. But then I didn't. Take a look. It's in a book. What does this guy do? Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. That also seems pretty good. That seems incredibly good. Holy carp. I can kind of make them do it, but ugh. This puts me to 1. And still mostly dead. Well, I guess it puts me to 2 and still mostly dead. Okay, we got blocks. They ain't good. If they drew life gain, we're dead. So they're not drawing life gain. We don't have to worry about it. It just kills us. Alright, I need Rise of Exodus right now. Alright, I can at least flunk her. I still need Rise of Exodus. But I'm not dealing with this now. Pledge Mage is keeping me in the game against this thing. The Rise of Exodus still sort of live. It's first in, last out. I don't get to order my opponent's triggers. I can order my stuff. What have they got that's better than drawing their bookworm sooner? I honestly don't want to know. I'm terrified of whatever it is. Okay, it's infinite pest tokens. So I could sacrifice this to kill that, but that leaves me with virtually no board. I might just be dead to that. All right. Yeah, trading my 6/6 for their 4/3 doesn't help. That doesn't really help either. That was a tough one. Bookworm's the real deal, yo. They made a very timid attack before. I am quite hopeful that they'll do it again. But I can't really imagine why they would. Yeah, they're not gonna. We're dead. Ouch. That was brutal. All right, I need a quick break. Chat, entertain YouTube. I didn't realize this was going to go this long. We're only 2 games in. I'll be right back. All right, thank you, chat, for entertaining YouTube. All right, let's give this a go. I like this format so far. The Witherbloom Apprentice may be better than I thought it was. And I thought it was pretty good. All right, that may be one of the better draws we've gotten. I approve. Yeah, Learn is really good. Getting free cards is good. Who knew? They get me with a combat trick here, but I get a 3/3 menace out of the deal. I'm okay with that. Do I want to trade my Blood Researcher for a Kelpie Guide? Doesn't matter. They don't want to. They might want to. They're thinking about it. They don't want to? They don't want to. Do I want to Mage Duel a Kelpie Guide? That's an interesting question. What's up, Pet Hero? I think I do. I think this is sort of like bolting the bird. Well, glad to have you here, my friend. We're recording a YouTube draft right now. I suppose this is more likely to be beneficial next turn. If we draw a spell we want to use, it'd be swell. You want a Scurrid pet? What's a Scurrid? I got a book. It's got pictures in it. And you can flip through and look at them. We're a little behind right now. I don't really care for it, but... Well, I hope you get your pet. It's a lot of trolling. I don't think I want to attack with the 5/5 yet. There's some argument for doing it, but I don't think I'm ready yet. I don't see why I wouldn't. It's whenever you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1. But maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. Let's find out. I hope we get to find out. Be good to know. What did they know? Did they know things? Let's find out. Hollywood trolls and celebrities. They've got good cards. I didn't get this kind of cards. I don't like it. Look at this. Yeah, my first draft was a Quandrix deck that didn't actually get great uncommons. But like, if I end up not liking this format, it will be because of the power disparity between the commons and uncommons. Because like, Honor Troll compared to that is just, these are not similar cards. Because like, the list of things we can draw that stop this nonsense is getting pretty low. Field Trip would get me Annihilation, as well as Pests, as well as some life gain triggers, so I think it's worth taking. Because like, I'm going to need to answer this crap. Yeah, looks like it doesn't stack. Yeah, I don't love uncommons that say kill me or lose. Fair. So we could take the Introduction to Prophecy and try to dig a little deeper and gain a little bit more life. We could take Fractal Summoning to try to compete with their large Fractal, or I could take Introduction to Annihilation and just try to kill this thing. Did we gain 3? That's neat. I could also take Pest Summoning, which I don't think is terrible. Like, it means the ground isn't really that scary, and over time we can start growing our big boy. But it's time to decide, like, do I want to try to get stuff out of the way? Or do I want to try to go for another kill with, like, Witherbloom Apprentice, which I don't have in play? I feel like Pest Summoning might be the best. I know Simone needs to die, right? But I could get the Introduction... Maybe that means Introduction to Prophecy's the pick. Because the ground's kind of okay right now, and this might help me find a card that would stop Simone. Because I have some of those main deck, like Flunk, for example. So maybe I draw this and have Flunk on top, just in case they have any... They're not super likely to have any, but they could. And I think I would be happy to Flunk and Cultivate in the same turn. I think I got 4 wins on my first draft. I'd certainly like to get more. Sorry, Simone, you flonked. I don't think there's a reason to hold this land. I'm going to jam it out. I think we probably scry upkeep here. Because I do eventually need to deal with this Air Force. The lack of a common reach creature in green is making flyers significantly better than they usually are. And they're usually not bad. The Honor Troll has impressed me with gaining a lot of life. Why do you have that? I wanted that. There is a 2/2 reach. Interesting sequencing. I like it. I think ideally we would draw Prismari Command here if I got to pick. I appear not to get to pick, but that's okay. Not Prismari Command, Quandrix Command. So Introduction to Annihilation could take out this, which is currently killing me. The Kelpie Guide, which is currently killing me. Because as soon as they can tap something, they're going to start killing me. So I may just need Introduction to Annihilation here. Fractal Summoning would give me a large play next turn. But they could still just double tap to get me with that. This is getting awkward. I think I want the Fractal Summoning, but I'm scared. This would have been so much better in my deck. Kelpie's really good. The Overgrown Arch is really good. I think the Overgrown Arch is one of the biggest reasons to get into this deck. Yeah, they're going to start beating me to death here in a minute. Appear to not to want to go super ham on this, which is fine by me. This leaves me 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Arch plus most of the cards in green-black are really good. But they're at the point where they can just tap down my best blockers, so I'm still not sure how we're supposed to get out of this. They're not doing it, though, which is good. I guess they don't know what the Kelpie does, so we're very pleased with that. May you post an Imager link with your current Quandrix list. Images are not allowed in chat, but if you want to post it to my Discord in the Magic discussion channel, it would be quite welcome there. !Discord. No, thank you to Forest. Yeah, the air is just destroying us here. Oh no, they figured out what their card does. That is not good news. That is incredibly bad news. Oh! They already had so much stuff I needed to kill. I said in my intro article that this format revolves around rares and uncommons, and I'm going to have to draft with that in mind. Like, I did get a couple uncommons, and this is doing something. But I suggested that this was more of a reward for being in Witherbloom than a reason to be in it, and I think we figured that out. I think that's true.
Prime sub. Wow, that's like 4 years.
Thank you very much, Taylor. I appreciate it quite a bit, my friend. Thank you. All right, so you're not ever going to get much better than this. But I think this is just okay. I mean, I could just put all of it in front of that. My life total is fine. The Honor Trolls aren't getting much better. They're out of cards. This is a way to get rid of an 8/8. There's really no reason to throw this guy in front of it either. It takes off one of my life gain triggers, which sucks. So why wouldn't I do it like this then? I think I would do it like this. Okay. I still think it's incredibly unlikely we win this game, but maybe this gives us a start? No, thank you. Umbral Juke. The Juke does give me a flying blocker, because them sacrificing their crap isn't helpful. So, it's something. Gains me a little bit of life, too. But I still feel that the spicy manipulator is going to be a deciding factor in this game. Ugh. That is not helpful. This does give us the opportunity to trade off both Honor Trolls for that, which I'm not entirely certain I want to do. Oh, we are falling incredibly behind. This means I'll at least keep one of the creatures, but this is not looking good to me. Because these are just not really going to do enough. Grindy McBoardstallerson. Kelpie is so good. And they're just going to draw 2 cards? The Honor Trolls do stack for +2. Chat was kind enough to do the math for me. I think I'm just dead here. We've managed to gain a bunch of life, but haven't really had a reason to be doing it. I love that that comes up and people ask about it, but generally speaking, most opponents are smart enough not to let themselves get dagged. Pop quiz into fractal summoning is going to be what makes a lot of people concede. Because I think it's about to make me concede. Okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm done. You got it. So to answer your question, Brian, no, there is no chance we live long enough to deck them. Ouch. There is a chance we win the Stream Raiders battle, which is good news, because it would be cool to win something today. My first Kaldheim draft was incredible. My first Strixhaven draft is not going incredible. Well, that one already wasn't incredible. My second isn't either. But I think I am being pushed to this format is going to hinge on rares and uncommons. And my thoughts about the Honor Troll were pretty accurate. There's uncommons you want a lot more to get into Witherbloom rather than the Troll. But once you're in Witherbloom, the Troll is a very welcome addition. So like I kind of built a deck that can gain a lot of life, but can't actually kill anybody. I mean, it doesn't super matter how it feels. We're playing best of one now. Dave with the kills, Ketusane as the assister, rewards for Adam Blauhorn, Techno Shaman, and Bragg. How does Witherbloom kill? Have more copies. Like I know how Witherbloom kills. It's with like it's up in the Witherbloom article if you'd like to read it. It's the pieces that we're missing, basically. So we've got Dina, but we don't have any search for specimens. That's a problem. We've got life gain enablers, but we don't have the payoffs. Because a 3-mana 4/4, while might sound pretty good, it's not good enough. That's not doing enough. Yeah, fair, we can take the overlay down. If you're looking to post stuff about Magic, the Magic discussion channel would be really good. Somebody asked what college would I be in. I don't really think of the flavor like that, but I guess Lorehold. So that we're just missing the kill conditions. They exist, we just don't really have them. Although to be fair, the games have been fun so far. So like, I'm very okay with a format that's swingy but fun in the draft portion and the gameplay. I hate my first YouTube video being potentially a 1-2, but eh. Sometimes you're the pigeon, sometimes you're the statue. Yeah, all of the summoning cards are quite good lessons to pick up. And I mentioned that fractal summoning seems to be potentially one of the better ones because it's more likely to be good in Quandrix than any of the other colleges. So you should be able to get them a little easier there. Was that you, rest in pieces? GG's. That was too much Zamone for me. That's an opener, but it's another one of these openers that, like, doesn't have a solid plan. Thank you for the gift sub, J. Marty. Much appreciated. I still don't know why trolls move, but I like it. Mage Duel not looking so hot here. This thing's really good in Quandrex. It's a Flying Doomblade. That thing's really good in Quandrex too. I might want to kill the Apprentice next turn. And I may have to offer up a Pledge Mage to a Drake, because I'm going to have to trade a card to it unless we get our Umbral Juke. Anything we can click on around here? I think they kind of got rid of that. Big play? Okay. They must really need that land. Oh, no, they just wanted to use their own Mage Tool. What if I did one? I think I like it better next turn. Because I could go Invocation into Mage Duel and start getting things going in my direction. I do. Whenever an opponent casts a sorcery, they may pay 2. If they don't, you copy it. If I cast this and don't pay the 2, then they just get 1. That seems bad, man. It seems like something I need to get rid of right now. Once again, that's a rare. They're good. They do have a 1/1 trample now, which is something. Yeah, the Apprentice is pretty good. This is pretty good too if you can get some lands in play, right? No, it's cards in hand. I liked that card quite a bit too. This is too much. I think it's too early to say that blue-green is too good. Because we're seeing good versions of blue-green. Good versions of blue-green are going to seem like they're too good. So, I don't know if you were listening earlier when I said that this format seems to hinge around the rares and uncommons. That is exactly what that means. That the cards that are beating you are rares, uncommons. And if you're playing commons to try to compete with that, your deck quality is just going to be bad. And I think that's what we've gotten. But I'm concerned that that means that there'll be some drafts where you just don't open good rares in pack 1, get in a color combo, and then you're supposed to just drop what you're doing if you open a good rare in the next one. Which will make drafting a little less interesting, because it's just like trying to collect the pieces of power, but there's enough fixing that you could probably just play 3-color jank and do it, and that may actually be the answer. A Pauper format is one where it's designed around the commons. But we haven't actually seen a Pauper format in a long time. When was the last Paupers format? Was that potentially Ikoria? Like, this is terrifying. I'm just literally dead and there's nothing I can draw. Yeah, I think we may need to be prepared to do that. And we need to be able to recognize what the amazing cards are so that when they wheel, we can ditch our stuff for them. Because I don't even think there's anything I can draw here. It's certainly not a 4/3. Yeah, it's certainly not a land. Like, we're not technically dead. But I feel like we're mostly dead. Use they, big head. Chat has asked you nicely. I will now command you to do it. So this is 14-15. That's a heck of a hit. We want to be inclusive to women and non-binary people that are playing. I also don't want you to just refer to everyone as a she. Like, it ain't that hard. This does feel somewhat unbeatable, though, don't you think? Sure, and now you have been corrected. You will use they going forward in this chat if you'd like to be welcome here. I don't even, like, the best top deck we have in a lot of cases has been the Quandrix command, and I don't think that gets us out of this either. Like, this certainly doesn't. Like, I'm scrying, but I'm not actually scrying to anything. Yeah, Mage Duel ain't gonna do it. That's game over, man. Game over. Alright, well, unfortunate that our YouTube draft ended up being one where we go 1-3, but that can happen to anybody. And I think is a perfectly normal thing as you're beginning to figure out a format. So YouTubers, thank you for tuning in. Chat, say hello to YouTube. So far, I like it. But I do think I'm going to need to focus even more than I thought I would on the rares and uncommons, which we can do. So we will see you next time. YouTube, chat, don't worry. There is plenty more drafting to be had here.